Somewhat comfort heroes. The Pango has been swapped from off lane to mid lane. Will this work for Heroic? They have a lot of work to do here in game number 2.
Yeah, I will say something that could work very well for them is the fact that the lineup they're playing has heroes that haven't been played very much this tournament. So Liquid probably not too warmed up playing against Darkseer, playing against Shaker. And these are some trademark heroes for these players as well. Schofield, in my opinion, one of the best Shakers in the world. You've got Devailama on his Darkseer, one of his best. And K1 with a carry Weaver, also one of his best that just hasn't really been trending very much this tournament. It's had a couple of games here and there, but definitely some surprises to be had there. Liquid's a lot more standard meta from them.
And we'll see how good the synergy and communication is between the likes of Schofield's Earthshaker and Analog's Pangolier. That could be really good to use the Fissure with the Rolling Thunder, but it could also be really awful.
True.
Sometimes pushing them to the other side and then you just don't have an avenue to actually do anything. So it can be kind of counterintuitive, but we'll see how it works out for Heroic here.
Yeah, Liquid got a very quick D-ward there on Heroic, trying to rush down with the Weaver to place an Observer, but didn't really get much out of it. Now the question is if they can get something out of this. So obviously, 15 seconds until the runes spawn. A lot of the times we see teams clashing around this, and see if Oxy is pretty well positioned here. We'll break it.
Yep, Schofield making his way over.
And he will just yield the area. Just not
but now Sticky Bomb is actually going to not hit. Fissure going to block out Boxy. Lucent Beam onto Schofield. Who gets the first blood is the question. Got the shield crash onto several. Boxy is going to go down first. And first blood goes to Analog. Very important for Heroic. As Schofield, he's going to make it difficult. In fact, he's going to make it impossible to kill him with that Fairy Fire. Now Insania slowed to a crawl with the enchant. See if they can actually finish the job. The Fissure is there. Nice block from Schofield. Terrific start for Heroic.
Yeah, it looked like Liquid were uninterested. They were backing off from the rune. And then they kind of went back in. So Heroic get an opportunity and they capitalize in a big way. 2 kills for them. And the first blood going the way of Analog is a very good piece of news for him. Last game he was having a rough one. This time around, hopefully he can make his own fortune come true. That's the saying now.
Yeah.
I'll be laning against Dragon Knight. This is a, I want to say, pretty decent lane for Pango. I feel like both heroes, for the most part, should just find okay farm. But Analog missing a lot of these early ones. Actually got 0.
Yeah, Breathe Fire can be really annoying. He's 0-1, and this is despite getting first blood, so Nisha doing a very good job of kind of equalizing the lane and now kind of taking the lead, it feels like. Let's see how fast Analog can get out that bottle. I mean, he was only a couple creeps away from getting the bottle to begin with, and he's still just sitting on 600 right now. This is brutal.
He'll get the gold for it now, it looks like. Any second now. Just one more CS. All right, that's another deny for Nisha. And he missed that one. He got it.
Swashbuckle to the rescue for Analog. Now he is celebrating because the bottle's on the way.
Yeah, they're basically even on net worth despite first blood.
Yeah, imagine if there was no first blood. This would be so bad for I mean, it already is. As top lane, KJ taking a ton of damage, 33. Will help finish it up with the likes of Boxy, and he will get traded in the end. No deny this time.
Yeah, should be pretty happy with that on the side of Heroic. Weaver, the type of carry you just want to get off to a quick, good start. Hero can be extremely oppressive in lane, and it's one of the best lane carries in the game against Brewmaster. I don't remember which tournament it was. If it was, I want to say a few months ago, we had teams specifically targeting Brew with Weaver Grimstroke. Now in this case, they obviously have the Ench instead of Grim. I would say for the most part that is a bit of a downgrade for this lane. I can't believe I'm saying that because it's Ench in lane, but the Grim Weaver lane is just ridiculous. But this is still a very formidable one against Brew. So considering the game that 33 had last time, I think fair to say he will not be able to replicate that in this one.
Sticky Bomb in a K1, but bottom lane is where the action was. Schofield's going to get help from Devailama to get the hell out of dodge.
This Ion Shell is very difficult to see, actually.
Is it a pay-to-win Ion Shell? Is that what you're trying to say?
Question.
It's not the default then, I take it.
I don't think so.
Get it in the marketplace while you can.
After this game is going to go up in value and then it will get fixed. Everyone was like, oh, wow, this is a good Darkseer
The
item.
Valve special, yeah. I'm still on that Axe coin from Artifact, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, we can see 20-8 for Nisha now versus the 9-1 for Analog. It is brutal mid lane.
I feel like this
Heroic.
matchup does not go this way in theory. I think Dragon Knight might have a bit of an edge, but not a 2-1. So Nisha just flat out outplaying Analog here in the earliest stage.
Yeah, well, he is a 1v1 beast, is Nisha. It's one of his calling cards, of course. But yeah, the Breathe Fire makes it really difficult, especially when these spells were lower level with the Shield Crash and whatnot. It's really hard to last hit with them. We're finally getting a couple here now for Analog onto the tower.
Yeah. I think it would have been really good news for Liquid here if somebody came and stole a water, because Analog is out of mana. So if they could have stolen the top water and Nisha could have got the bottom one, Analog would actually be suffering quite hard now, but it's at least going to get the one refill. It's not that Nisha needs the help, it's just you could shut him down even further, but...
Yeah, make him rage quit. That's always the plan in the pubs. K1 right now on this Weaver, 21-3 versus the 26-7 of Mickey on the other side. Both pretty close. What do you think of Weaver as a position 1 these days?
I think it's underpicked, personally. I feel like this hero has really good games. Sometimes the teams just don't identify. Oh, KJ in trouble. Blast off.
Boxy gets the kill, and he's attempting to run away. The Swarm is upon him, though. Nice disarm from the Taser, but K1 will eventually get the kill.
Yeah, I think Carry Weaver, in games where the carry-to-carry matchup is good and the enemy team doesn't have too much in the way of disables, this hero can really do a lot. Oh, nice block off here. Mickey will be fine, but this Shaker Darkseer is, to be fair, not the strongest of lanes. I think that's completely fair to say, but they're getting Divai Lama off to a pretty good start. Now, Darkseer is the type of hero where the first few levels is always the struggle for this guy.
Yeah.
Is getting to that level 3 and level 5, and then the Ion Shield kind of starts becoming autopilot farming. They've already got there against a Chen lane.
All right, Nisha, pretty happy about he was getting ganks. He's just going to TP out casually. And they had another TP coming in, but I believe they canceled on Heroic side.
Yeah, Schofield a bit too late to the party there.
A heads up play from Nisha. No stun to come, of course. No level 6 yet on that Pango, as Boxy's going to run into KJ. Take over the Watcher. And the Taser will activate for the brief moment in time. Sticky Bomb connects. Invis is available for somebody in the mid lane. See if they'll be able to get it or not. As Schofield and Divai Lama again onto Mickey. They got the Blood Grenade now. Gets vacuumed back into an Enchant Totem and Fissure. And Insania too late to the party. So despite this lane not being very good on paper, they get the kill onto the Luna.
This is so good news for Divai. I feel like Heroic have no business finding kills in this lane. So even getting one on that Luna is huge.
Analog, Shield Crash coming in with that Invis rune. 33, not level 6 yet, so an easy pickup for Heroic.
Yeah, they don't seem phased by that game 1 at all. They're just sticking to their guns. Oh, well, they changed their guns, but they're playing well.
That's right. They have AR now instead of the pistols from last game. Much more effective, it seems. Nisha. A lot of damage to the tier 1 tower with that Dragon Form, as KJ making his way over with the Tomato Creep. Boxy, though, is here with the Sticky Bomb. Analog gets off the Rolling Thunder. Nice angle onto the DK. 33 coming in, though. Gets off the Thunderclap onto KJ. The disarm comes from Boxy as Nisha pushed to the other side. Now K1 has made his way over with the Shikuchi. Swash does hit. Nisha so tanky with his double bracer build. Still being pursued under the cover of the tier 1 tower. Gets the Dragon Tail off. Boxy is now here onto the other side. Nisha continuing to get pursued by the Shikuchi. It will hit. A couple more right clicks should suffice. Surely the Breathe Fire is there now as well to mitigate the damage into the tree line. He actually finds his little crevice, but no. K1 eventually gets the kill. It is hard fought, but the Dragon Knight does actually fall. And now Boxy being pursued as Schofield walking to the ends of the earth. Fissure does clip onto the tail end as K1 will Shikuchi in. And is there going to be a Roche deny? Yes! Very slow wind up with that right click, but eventually Roche does help out Team Liquid.
And that was, to be fair, that was avoidable for K1. I feel like a bit of a mistake there to hit the techies on the way into the pit. Just follow him, run next to him, wait to see if he gets hit by Roche, then you finish the job.
Now Mickey gonna take a wall to the face. There's gonna be a TP coming in though as 33 with that primal split will use it. Stun onto Divide Llama. Lifts up the Centaur creep, so no stuns to come from Heroic. Easy cleanup onto Divide as KJ. Gonna get pushed back. Do they have the damage to actually kill her off? She's only level 3, so might be a freebie. Although 33 back into his normal form, slowing her down. Thunderclap with the help of Mickey and that Lucent Beam. Eventually they get the second kill.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And my question to you is, at what point does Liquid start to 5-man and just ball up on these towers?
Now.
We're seeing some now, it looks
Well,
like.
3-manning, but Chen has 2 creeps, and
That's
they're
what, yeah.
men, so
I
it's a
agree.
5-man push.
I agree. And
I mean,
Nisha
they've
gets the
already
mid
done
one.
a pretty good job, right? Mid tower is down minute 9. The bottom tower, they're forcing rotation from Heroic, who will defend it, but... Yeah,
9-minute wisdom, by the way.
Yeah, true. We've been praising Heroic on these early fights. I think have done a really good job skirmishing, but Liquid are still in a very good position with just getting the tower gold, getting the pressure out, and the net worths on their cores also looks very healthy.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So, could have been better for Liquid, but it's still good.
Yep, 33. They know he doesn't have primal split. Although this will be a bit of a difficult kill. Surge is there onto Schofield. Not level 6 yet, as 33 very fast.
Yeah, that was...
Although KJ making an appearance now with the Impetus and now the Enchant slow. Thunderclap only onto Schofield as he does have some help from Mickey, but eventually they do run him down.
I think 33 also definitely wasn't expecting that Ench flank to come in, so... It was a very long gank. They effectively set up for the Ench flank like 15 seconds before she connected, so really well done. A quite elaborate kill there for Heroic. Mickey gonna be unhappy about that.
Yeah, that's always annoying.
That's good.
Is under attack.
Oh, but there's another Centaur, the brother.
Yeah.
Insania now level 6, has that Hand of God with the mechanism now online, with a level 1 of Divine Favor, which was very broken in the, I guess, the last big patch.
Yeah.
It was slightly nerfed.
They really nerfed it hard from that 12 to 9 armor level 1.
Yeah. It was 24 armor, I believe, at level 4. Now it's 18.
It was 12 plus 4 per level. Now it's 9 plus 3 per level. So it's worse.
Technically, yes. K1 will be able to dodge the sticky bomb. They get the dust off, but you can hear the DK ult along with the creeps. This will be the second tower for Liquid. They did a lot of damage to the tier 1 bot, but didn't actually finish it.
I think this is the right play call for Heroic as well to not try to defend. I think they understand that fighting into this ball is largely dependent on Shaker having Blink, and Schofield needs another 1,000, so they might have to sacrifice the top tier 1, maybe the bottom tier 1, and maybe even top tier 2 if Liquid were to put the pressure that early. But they will not do that for now, so getting some time. Davai now with the first item, Veil, on the Darkseer. Interesting, not what I was expecting to see in this game.
What were you expecting?
Probably going some fast mech. You know, this is going to be a team fight type game. So I was expecting maybe a Greaves rush. Maybe even Pipe and Greaves if you think about how this is going to play out. But opting for the more offensive build in the Veil. Can turn it into Shivas later, of course, but
Dire are scanning.
interesting choice.
So 2 towers so far for Liquid. And the Blink Dagger is finally picked up by Nisha, finally at the 12-minute mark.
Yeah.
Really slow farmer. And this is going to likely turn into a lot of aggressive plays now here for Liquid. Of course, Mickey doesn't really have to join these fights at all.
No.
One of the best farming carries in the game, if not the best right now in this meta at least.
And if anything, Liquid should feel very comfortable just knowing Mickey is on Luna, right? Like, this is a hero that he has mastered. It's a hero that they know very well how to play around. And a hero that has been banned against them quite a bit for that reason in this meta where it is powerful. Liquid, arguably the best team at running this hero, so... You can say what you want about Heroic, but they're definitely confident giving away Chen and Luna to this team. And so far, they're showing good promise. This is definitely a better game state than they had in the last game at 13 minutes in. In particular, Analog is having a much better time on his Pangolier this time than the Lesh. He's 2-0-1, getting the 13-minute Diffusal Blade here. And once they get the Shaker Blink as well, I really think Heroic just want to fight. I think they're going to be looking for a smoke at that point to bring it to Liquid and defend their additional towers.
Yeah, he's only about 500 away for that Blink Dagger on Schofield, so they got the Diffusal now for Analog's Pango. And almost a Sacred Relic for the eventual Radiance on 33. And it looks like K1, obviously the Maelstrom to start things out, but we'll be going for Dragonlance into an eventual Linken's this game.
Linken's obviously amazing against Dragon Knight. The only thing that's reliably going to break it... Oh, hang on. Schofield will not be getting his Blink just now. He was very close.
He was, but he's going to have to wait a little bit longer. Boxy gets credit for that one. Feels like it has slowed down a bit, though.
Yeah, I'm not really sure who this is better for. I think it's quite even. Obviously, Liquid don't mind waiting for key items either. You pointed out the Radiance on Brew will be huge. Getting Luna to her Manta will be very helpful as well. That's quite close by, just needs another 900. And on the side of Heroic, that Linken's on Weaver will, obviously that's way further away, but it was what we were talking about, how in this game the only thing that breaks the Linken's is Dragon Tail and Lucent Beam. Reliably. You can hit it with Penitence, but Chen is often not going to be in position for that. So
get a Zapper creep.
Yeah. It feels like a very good Linken's game to me, so happy to see K1 consider that as his next choice. I think there's also a case to be made for going BKB just so you have staying power in the fight. Like you just go in and you ignore techies as a hero, ignore a lot of what Dragon Knight and Brewmaster do, but...
Precious bounty.
And there's the Blink like we talked about for the ES, and I do believe you're correct on the Liquid plan as waiting for this Radiance before they really start to group up and take these towers. They only have a 1 tower advantage right now, which is basically that 1K lead that they're sporting at the moment. So very even game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Analog with the Arcane Rune. Will show himself, but back away. No one really looking for a fight yet. We'll see what kind of reveal this Blink Dagger will have him on the side of Heroic. Schofield is going to show himself, surged up. They get the tier 1 tower uncontested, so tower's even despite this being a heavy push lineup for Liquid. Actually not sure if he showed with the Blink in this fog. It is nighttime after all.
Yeah. Not
Tough
sure if
to
they've
say.
seen it yet either. But yeah, so far, I mean, this is definitely a calm game right now. We were off to a quite explosive start, and then things have very much slowed down. Brewmaster, 400 to go. Still looking at that as the expected time that something will break out here. Otherwise, both teams probably just happy to keep this rolling. And Devai actually committing for the Shiva here. I thought he was going to get the mech. He had that one eyed up after the Veil, but really going the offensive route. Yeah. The healing reduction obviously going to be very interesting as well in this game as a mechanic against the Radiant lineup. Dragon Knight, Chen. Probably we might see a Skadi at some point for K1. It's not out of the question on Weaver in a game like this.
Yeah, not often you see the Shiva straight up, especially now that it costs about $1 billion gold to actually complete.
It got nerfed heavily. It went from being the item to being situational in a jiffy.
Might have something to do with the recipe being 2,000 gold.
Might play a role.
Ridiculous.
Oh, it's coming out now for Devai, so he will be picking that one up. I wonder when K1's going to get his shard. I think this is one of the best shards in the game. Weavers, but it feels a bit bad to buy it as carry, right? You would really like to get it for free, but then you have to wait really long, but obviously you're going to need to prioritize it over other stat items or a BKB. So, but in theory, it should be very nice against Chen as well.
Yeah, 33 has the Radiance now. So lots of timings coming together for both sides simultaneously.
Yeah, clearly they're interested in something breaking out. KJ, his smoke will break, but not going to see from what, and Insania as well as 33 made their way out of there. However, that's just a random clipping. Oh no.
Oh, hi there.
Oh.
In the tree line is a Techies.
They had no idea. Just randomly gets hit in there.
That
with the
is
Storm onto Roche.
quite unlucky. Yeah.
What can you do?
Wow.
And I mean, this is obviously going to telegraph to Liquid what's going on. I just don't think they stand a chance in this fight. They're way too far away on their heroes. They don't have the resources. They're 4 on 5, so free Roche going the way of Heroic. And that is
that's
great
huge.
news for the Weaver.
As an Eclipse comes in, Mickey finding a little ES action.
Yeah.
So ends up being a 1-for-1 for supports, but obviously the Aegis on the Heroic side. And that, against a push lineup like this, theoretically a push lineup, we haven't really seen that much of it yet. Very good Orchid, but the Shikuchi was already off.
Now this build from Nisha is very aggressive, right? The Blink Orchid from Dragon Knight, you want to find engagement.
Oh.
Well, you're going to find one, I guess.
He almost died to Dragon Tail itself, which is very rare.
Yeah.
But yeah, another support down for Heroic. They will likely try to back away. 33, making his presence known, wants to take some of these creeps to Lama. Does he actually want to fight? Pops the Shivas. Onto Boxy, the vacuum beautifully placed, mid blast off.
Oh, this is so awkward
Now the Rolling
for Liquid.
Thunder from Analog, focusing on Insania, but Nisha is who they really want. The creeps are going away, it looks like. So Nisha might be left to his own devices. Swashbuckle's there, completely out of mana now thanks to the defusal. That ends up being a very big kill for Heroic. Liquid just not on the same page, it seems.
They're at least not in the same area, right? And it's a bit awkward because, as pointed out, this Dragon Knight went for an offensive build, right? He has Blink Orchid. Nisha wants to find kills with his Orchid. He wants to engage something, but it doesn't feel like they can really skirmish that easily into the lineup that Heroic has. It does feel like it's going to come down to big team fights, and this time around just outnumbered. Like, there's no play there for them. So, yeah, not too happy about that one. Boxy getting caught off first. His progression on Techie is being slowed down massively.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And I believe Ags is finished for Analog.
Oh, yeah.
On the
He
Pango.
is doing very well now. The saving grace for Liquid is that Mickey is huge, but effectively this is starting to turn into a game where Heroic need to solve primarily one hero, and it does simplify the game a lot when you know that a huge chunk of the enemy's net worth, more than is supposed to be, is on one guy. You can start strategizing around, all right, are we going to target him? Are we going to dodge him in fights? What's our prioritization?
Orchid, Dragon Tail combo into the blast off. Do they have enough damage? So tanky, but eventually Analog does die. And KJ now.
Big damage,
some good damage. He's actually stuck in the trees. Very awkward for him. Not sure if he has a way out, and K1 to Divide. We'll be able to take out Boxy, although the Hand of God was placed, keeping Boxy alive. Eventually, the Fissure does do the job, though. Nisha, a bit aggressive on the other side of the Fissure now as the Eclipse comes through. A lot of creeps to tank it up, though, as the Primal Split is used as well. As Nisha gets destroyed by Schofield. Divide eventually getting run down, though. So lots of trades throughout this fight. As Schofield brought into the air and swiftly brought back down into the tree line he goes. The Enchant Totem, trying to get off the Blink, but there's just too many cancellations. And that should be another kill for Liquid. Ends up being a 3 for 3.
Okay, one is not stopping here.
And Mickey, out of mana, but K1 won't pursue any further. KJ eventually found his way out of the tree line, doing some damage to 33, who just simply TPs out.
I think that could have been a better outcome for Heroic. That Fissure, the last one from Schofield, unfortunately for him, catches the Luna on the wrong side. We're going to see that in 50 seconds, which is how long this team fight was, of course, but there we go. That's the first Fissure. Decent one, that one. And I don't like this engagement from Nisha. I feel like this is overly aggressive. He's really compromising his position. Keep in mind, he doesn't have a tanky build, and the follow-through is not available instantly on the Dragon Tail. Techie's being dead means no blast-off, no Mind Burst. And Heroic quickly identify that this Dragon Knight kills easy, and this Fissure, if that's on the other side of the Luna, I think Heroic might have got an even better fight out of that.
Yeah.
Boxy in trouble.
Boxy being pursued, but has some company with him. K1 gets Lucent beamed. He's silenced up right now as well. The Sticky Bomb applies. They don't have the damage to finish him off. It looks like he's going to be close. Finally, the Aegis is taken. And Nisha getting rolled on as support in the form of Insania as K1 making his way over with the Shikuchi. Look at that impetus damage. A big vacuum from Divide Lama. Nisha's dead. Insania looks to be next. This is a disaster for Liquid. Mickey pops the BKB. Will even be able to get out with his life? Looks like that is not to be. 4 dead. Heroic absolutely destroying Liquid here.
It's just too easy. Oh, Device getting hyped. Living up to his name there. Yelling Divide looked like a llama, I guess. I don't know. He went for the whole thing. And yeah, amazing fight. They get themselves 4 kills. They're getting this tier 2 tower. And okay, so again, keep in mind this Luna, right? The Luna is the only true core that Liquid have right now that is scaling. Dragon Knight's build is falling off a cliff right now. This Blink Orchid has yielded him, I think, 1 kill. The Brewmaster with the Radiance is not progressing much either. So when all of that net worth is on the Luna, we didn't even talk about this, the Wall of Replica, right? You're just getting an additional ally in that fight through the Luna illusion that gives them even more damage. We got to see it being showcased a little bit there by Divide when the fight kind of was already over. But Liquid, man, I am worried for them in this game at this point. Like, how do you recover from this position? Your lineup is tailored to be peaking right now. You're 7k behind. What is the comeback path against this monstrous teamfight lineup that Heroic have going and a completely free game on their carry? K1, 5-0, and 9. Does he have BKB coming out now as well? Or is this just the Ogre axe that he's bought? He just got his Lincoln's and Gleipnir. There's no way he has a BKB as well, right? That would be crazy.
That would be very crazy.
Speaking of items, Schofield closing in on a Shadow Blade as his item of choice on Shaker.
Hell yeah.
Opting for that over Shard, I think that's an interesting choice. This feels like a game where you could get a lot of value out of just max ranging Fissures into Enchants to just let your Weaver and Darkseer do the job, but...
Yeah, but I was going to say Lothar's. My god, how many years has it been? Shadowblade is way cooler, Cinderin.
That's true.
And you're on land.
Cool
so
points.
Doing cool things definitely will get the crowd behind you. As obviously this crowd a bit Liquid favored, but maybe this game number 2 will change the tune of some, as Heroic have been basically the underdogs throughout this entire tournament, I want to say, and the fact that they've made it to the playoffs. A lot of people would not have predicted that from the start.
Yeah, and let's just not forget the way the group went. We did talk about it in the previous game that Heroic arguably should not have been in the lower bracket even.
Yeah, it was super close. I mean, that's one of the probably the closest group stage we've ever seen.
Yeah, and I think
memory.
This is the closest a team has been to the upper bracket as well. Like, they had so many opportunities, just one more game win, and many of their losses were like over an hour.
Schofield wanted to steal the Tormentor. Instead, he feeds his life away. That's a Shadowblade buy right there, Cinderin. That's what that looks like.
But his reward
is a Shadowblade.
Gets their own shard from their own Tormentor.
Hell yeah.
Agent Schofield getting paid with a dire shard from the Tormentor. I like it's a cute play, right? Like, if it works, it's massive impact, of course. It's a huge net worth swing. Stealing a Tormentor is 2,800 gold, right? But not the case. Liquid get a little bit of a freebie. But if anybody wants to do that, it's Schofield, right? It's just so on brand to see this guy go for that.
No doubt.
With the ward over there as well, but didn't quite get it.
So from Mikkei's perspective, since you are going up against the VAC wall, do you build the hero any differently than you normally would? Because back in the day, like when it was a stronger combo, like you would not buy Butterfly, for example, Scotty, things like that, right? It's just stats would be a bad idea, but
I don't really think you have. I think you still go for the standard build in this patch. I guess the good news is Conda is not particularly strong in the illusion, and you want to get that anyway.
Yeah.
So this is a bit less of a counter than it used to be, but ultimately you are going to have to turn your Luna into a true carry with Butter and Satanic, right? I just don't think there's any way around it. But maybe you can bypass Butter. You're only against one right-click hero in the Weaver. He's going to buy MKB already, as it seems. K1 is already preparing that anyway, so maybe he will have the choice to pivot.
Okay, I give them a hint.
Still, long ways away from the Conda.
Oh, Analog's super strong right now. Activated Haste Rune and gets a DD, but... Sorry, AD. Gotta get it right, Shannon.
Just damage. Okay.
Gets a D Rune. That sounds pretty bad.
No, I like it.
Okay.
Well, Heroic showing themselves on this top section of the map. The tier 2 ripe for the picking. Some creeps will be shown. Gleipnir applied to them. Not going to be able to kill off any of them, though.
33 in the front.
Trying to force them out. Actually, will use the Primal Split. Now the disengage from Heroic. Schofield is seen in the cover of his Shadowblade. And he will be the sacrifice, it seems. But honestly... Oh, wait.
No way.
Schofield.
No way.
Schofield, Blink, TP. Oh, Nisha.
Wow.
Very close. But they did, I mean, that's a support for Primal Split. That's not even that bad for Heroic, I feel like, if they just regroup now.
And that was the Schofield there. That was an actual chase for once.
Yeah.
But he did not get out. Nisha with a good read on where the blink must have gone to. But yeah, he actually outlasted the dust. Just kept running. But yeah, good play from 33 regardless. Finding the angle and understanding that locking down Shaker is probably the highest impact play possible for him. K1 going to see Nisha hitting some creeps here. See if they turn it into anything. Doesn't look like it. Nisha will take the camp and back out.
And Nisha, his farm has suffered this game for sure, as you talked about earlier. The Orchid didn't really come to fruition, I feel like. Didn't really find any kills, maybe 1 or 2 at the most, but we'll be going for the eventual Manta into the Ags, which is when the hero becomes really obnoxious, but just so far away from having that impact. And we'll see if Heroic can continue to snowball this game in their favor as they wait for Roche. And Gleipnir onto Nisha, just trying to force him back. See how long K1 wants to chase.
About this far, I think.
Reinforcements are coming.
Wisdom for free, though.
Oh,
well,
nice.
they traded. Okay, Boxy was on the other one. On the money.
Yeah, trying to pressure this tier 2 bottom, but we can see that Heroic not really interested in defending as of yet.
Instead, they're going to take their own. And Liquid also don't seem particularly interested in defending, so... Alright, they will glyph. So they're buying the time for their Luna to trade down bottom. Let's see if Heroic will return the favor. Not glyphing their own. Instead, they are looking toward Big Boy.
Big juicy boy on
Big
campus.
Boy. And Liquid are nowhere near this. So this does feel like an inevitable second grab for the side of Heroic. Wonder how Liquid are going to play the next 5 minutes with this disadvantage. Should be quite awkward now. They're going to hear the roar of Roche, so they know it's happening, but yeah. Nobody's in the vicinity, so they will concede this.
Aegis and Cheese. And Heroic. That's funny, they because of that tier 2 tower taken out in the bot lane, during that time they actually cut into the lead by 2,000 gold.
Yep.
So a lot more even than it was not too long ago.
K1 is a beast. He is so strong in this game.
Boxy. Yeah, they find him. That should be an easy pickoff. Nice kill for Heroic using this Aegis advantage. See how much they can get out of it. Typically, second Roche is all outer towers and maybe poke of high ground.
Yeah, Heroic not the best high ground lineup to... When you look at it, like Weaver can do okay with the Dragon Lance and have some decent positioning,
it's
I
not
guess.
like it's a Deso build or anything like that.
Yeah, it's going to be quite slow. But he will get started on it. No hesitation from K1. Lincoln's BKB Aegis. What more can you ask for against this Radiant lineup? Very hard to kill him even once. Well, force a rotation here. TP back from Mickey to start. Half the tower already gone. They're not really posing any threat to him. No poke with spells, nothing. But Devi grabbing a pipe, so pipe Greaves against mech pipe. Insania not going to complete the Greaves. He is looking at a drum. So all the teamfight items coming out in spades, but really feels like this Heroic lineup is going to be difficult to pierce for the Radiant. I think damage issues is kind of the story for Liquid at this point, right? Dragon Knight still not there. So if you have the pipe popped and you have your Greaves in your back pocket as Darkseer, who's going to kill heroes except the Luna?
Right.
It is a little bit lackluster from Liquid. They need to be creative about how they approach this. Now lost 80% of their tower. Nothing really gained back the other way. They're starting to get cornered on the map. We'll maybe find an angle.
Yeah, the last thing they want to do is just sit high ground and wait for the inevitable. It's K1 being shown. They dust him, they pop the Lincolns, and they get the Dragon Tail. Do they have the damage? Big back into an Echo Slam. K1 has lived as a result. Somehow nobody is dead. As they're going to push back the Enchantress, and now Analog comes in with the Rolling Thunder. K1 continue to apply a lot of pressure from afar, still has the Aegis intact. Nice fissure with the Rolling Thunder combo. Mickey getting really low. The shield crash into the impetus. KJ gets the kill. Make it 2 as Liquid crumbling. Now they get the Aegis. But that is all. That was a disgusting vac wall into Echo.
Yeah, and what a perfect fissure too. Buying the time, really understanding that for K1 to bait that and feel confident that he's not going to get killed off, they had that all mapped out, Heroic. Having the same read on the situation, we can bait our Weaver because Liquid don't have enough burst damage to deal with him, so they just put the Shaker in the back line. And now another
beautiful vacuum into the Shivas, into the Swash. 33 has no primal split and is eventually taken out. Nisha's basically a creep at this point, does no damage. And the only member left is Insania. They have a bunch of buybacks, but Heroic feeling very cheeky right now. They're going to force out 2 and maybe back away. Dragon Tail onto Divine Llama, getting really deep. Blast off will connect. So at the very least, Liquid gets something out of this. But now the rest of Heroic on the run. And if they only lose 1, then they are going to be very happy with this exchange.
Yeah, 2 core buybacks spent just to kill the Darkseer, who was overextended into the tier 4s. And Heroic immediately call the retreat and get out with all of them. And they might even get a kill in return now.
Yeah, Boxy trying to deward. How dare he do so? He's swiftly taken out. They do preserve the buyback onto the Luna, but Heroic definitely in the driver's seat. 15k lead, still have the cheese, in fact. Yeah, this is looking pretty bad for Liquid in this game number 2.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what Liquid can do to turn the tide here. Like if there's some key item that's going to really swing things, and all I have on my mind right now is get more damage. That's still the problem. And Luna's buying Satanics who have sustaining power. I don't even know if that's the right choice here. I mean, sure, you can stay alive longer, but you're not hitting hard enough. Dragon Knight is on the way to the Manta. That will be step 1, but he still needs the Ags to boot. The AC on the Brewmaster is kind of the biggest item, but it's so far away that he's actually going to change into a Vlad's. 33 gave up on getting his big item. He doesn't think he's going to get there in time, and he will even buy a gem for the team, so not even getting the Vlad's as it
Support
seems.
Brewmaster now.
Yeah, really low net worth on him. We've seen so many great games from 33 this tournament, and this one he's just been stifled and not been able to find the same impact. This is a totally different Brewmaster than in game number 1. Maybe had a little bit too many drinks in between the games on the hero.
He was watching the stream and really jealous of everybody in the crowd.
I mean, that's just Brewmaster, though. Sometimes you just get too much, you know? You gotta know your limit.
Dire are scanning.
K1's going to show himself.
Radiant's bottom tower.
There's backdoor protection. He doesn't care. Time lapses away. Satanic now there for Mickey. So has his survivability. But still, feels like they're lacking that damage.
Radiant are scanning.
I mean, he can certainly output damage, but they don't have a secondary.
What's that taunt?
Divine Llama's taunt.
That's the Darkseer skip rope?
Radiant
Yeah.
are scanning.
I believe so.
Huh. I don't think I've ever heard the sound from that for some reason.
Are they going to go for the old Tormy? They take the Wisdom Room. Primal split, nice fissure, blocking off most of the team. And Heroic can likely just back away, but they might want to fight. His K1 actually had to use his BKB to pop the Lincolns now. Do they have more stuns on top? They get the Dragon Tail into the Lucent Beam. He's brought back into the fray and destroyed. Beautifully done from Liquid. Heroic sticking around a little bit too long, perhaps. Do they actually want to fight this? Rolling Thunder does proc onto Mickey. Now they don't have that ultimate to work with. Fissure blocking off a bit more. Has the shard now on Schofield.
Oh, they found Devi.
Yeah, if they lift him into the air.
That's cheese.
It's in quite a bit of trouble. Dragon Tail is there. Analog with a swash, but has to probably back away as the vac wall is in fact used. Schofield dies this at the trade of Boxy, and now Devi has to just surge away. And a continued chase from 33 and company. They find KJ in the trees. Do they have the vision? Do they even have the damage, really? I mean, Enchantress at this stage is not the easiest pickoff.
That's really big for Liquid. I don't understand what happened. Like, how did K1 feel forced to use his BKB and just strand? He was completely alone.
Yeah.
In the backline, going for Boxy. I understand you're feeling on top of the world on Weaver right now, but you still need your teammates. What makes your lineup strong is playing around Fissure. And K1 going way too deep there, popping his BKB, I guess out of fear of the counterplay from Dragon Knight, and then he's just stuck because he went on the backline alone. So Liquid get themselves 5,000 gold off of that, and a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, if that happens one more time, Liquid's back in this game, honestly.
Yeah, Mickey is going to start approaching damage items now. Satanic complete, and the next item on the menu is going to be the Daedalus.
And it's pretty close. He's already 4K into it. Depends on if he wants to save for that buyback.
AC completed on Nisha, so...
Gotcha.
And the Vlad's onto the Brew. So Nisha did not go for the Manta. This was why how they redistributed their item builds. Instead of trying to get an AC on Brew that would be too slow, they moved it over on the DK, who had 4K gold in the bank.
Scanning.
Brew got something cheaper. He's now queuing up a Nullifier
Oh, interesting.
on 33.
Oh, the Surge is pretty annoying.
It's a quite hard item to use on Brew.
Yeah.
See how that works out for him.
Maybe they'll change it so you can use active items on the Void Panda.
Oh yeah, this hero
Extra
needs a
micro.
buff for sure.
We've seen weirder things in Dota history, honestly.
Yeah.
And the wait for the third Rosh is here. It is up, though. As Mickey with the best taunt in the game. Level 24. And
It's just a Daedalus out of nowhere.
Yeah, can Liquid, I mean, they have to contest this surely, right? Rosh belches, so everyone knows.
K1 is doing stupid damage. Level 25, that extra
Already
Geminate
half
attack
HP.
is a massive DPS increase. They're too late. There's no way Liquid make it here on time.
Yeah, looks to be that way.
And Heroic in good formation too. If this fight breaks out post Rosh kill.
Aegis Cheese, and I believe Aghanim Scepter as well. We'll see who consumes that after this potential fight. Schofield is found in the tree line. 33 with the gem in vision. Now they take out the Earthshaker immediately. Has the buyback though. There's the back wall, but not really hitting too many. But the Luna is who they're targeting. Mickey pops his Eclipse, taking a lot of damage from that Impetus. There's the Hand of God keeping him alive. The Blast Off going to connect onto one. Divine Llama in a lot of trouble. Boxy getting extremely low as well. Beautiful Rolling Thunder. The beautiful Fissure as well. They lose one on the side of Liquid as Nisha trying to continue the pressure onto Analog. As K1 finally the Echo Slam comes in onto 2. Schofield and company take out Chen as a result. They take out the Aegis though as K1. It's going to kill off Insania. Mickey getting relatively low. Beautiful vacuum on the other side of the Fissure. They're kind of stuck here now next to this cliff as Mickey trying to heal up on the creeps. He's going to be left to his own devices here pretty soon. The last remaining member of Liquid will not survive. And no buyback to come from him. A great buyback coming out from Schofield. Definitely turning the tides here for Heroic and now doubling their lead.
Yeah, these fights are really long, right? There's just so much defensive on both sides. Liquid with all the Chen heals and auras, the Darkseer on the other side. In this case, Divine Llama, I believe he had another cheese there, right? Which made a really big difference in that fight, getting the big burst heal out. As Liquid were close to killing him off, things got reset. And I think Liquid played a really good fight there, despite, you know, they were against a really big advantage from that Rosh, and they still managed to make it a competitive fight. But now, a minute down on 3 cores.
Yeah.
Can they even avoid Megas, is the question. Or even the game. Like, if Heroic realize that there are no buys here, it might just be over.
Yeah, quite possibly. Mid lane, definitely dead. Onto the top lane they go. K1 is going to go to the bot now to split their efforts. And I don't see any defense coming out of the likes of Insania and Boxy, despite it being a techies. It's not the techies of old, Cinderin.
Yep.
Not the high ground god, much to Slax's chagrin. So after one huge fight, Heroic likely taking this to a game 3. They will get Megas.
Yeah. Are they going to go for more damage? They still have 20 seconds. They're like, okay, if Liquid had buyback, surely they would have spent them by now, right?
Yeah, for
They
sure.
might at least squeeze out a tier 4 here on your Weaver, and K1 will do that. Going to work.
And Divine Llama, we should mention, he's the one that picked up the Ags off of Roche, so has normal punch, which is also very good against Luna.
Yep.
Another illusion to work with temporarily.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I was going to say that is the only course that I see Liquid coming back is the Divine for Mickey, but it is quite a ways away.
Yeah, and I mean, what do you sell for this, right? It feels like he needs all of his items. Maybe you sell your treads.
I would assume so, yeah.
But it doesn't feel great to have low movement speed on Luna in a game like this. You really need to be able to position yourself and stay on target. Doesn't have an attack range item, so...
Well, if they hold off till tier 5 items, Cinder, and as we like to bring up, of course, Force Boots are available.
I thought you were going to say then he can get Ballista, but no. He
Oh
can't
my god, that item. Oh, I still have PTSD with that one, I'm not going to lie. That is one of the worst ever introduced to the game. As Mickey eyeing up the Tormy.
Yeah, waiting for friends. Friends will arrive.
Who doesn't have Shard at this point? Nisha and Boxy.
Yeah.
So it will be Boxy. And the Fireball.
I think they'd rather have the Boxy one, so I think they're happy with that.
Yeah, I think so.
It's quite decent. Casting that on Luna, maybe. Casting on Dragon Knight in the heat of the fight.
It's all about the buybacks now. We can see 8 out of 10.
Yeah. The two heroes without buyback are on the side of Heroic, so a bit of a numbers advantage for Liquid, but they're going to have such a hard time getting out anywhere on the map, having to constantly deal with these megas and with the uncertainty of the Shaker's positioning. With this Shadow Blade, Schofield could be on top of them at any moment with some backup from a Weaver, and that could just be the kill. So they will play very defensively in their own base, just waiting it out. And if Heroic want to, they could chill until Roche. Like I don't think they have to, but I really wouldn't mind seeing it just as a safety measure.
Yeah.
This kind of game.
Insania pauses.
That is incorrect. If your keyboard is dead, you cannot type Insania.
Well,
I don't believe it.
Probably someone else's keyboard, I would guess, Cinder.
Yeah, he needs to specify who.
Yeah, very, very important here. As we wait for this eventual last push, in all likelihood for Heroic here in Birmingham. How many people think that Liquid will win this series? Well, very shaky, actually.
How many people think Liquid will win this game?
Just the same amount.
That was a lot of hesitation on that one. But
There's a lag in the audience. It might be the alcohol. We will get back to you on that one.
Yeah, I will say the amount of cheers coming out.
More cheers for the alcohol.
I do think there's a bigger chance of alcohol than Liquid winning this game. I will say that. So I think that's an accurate representation. And I think to the 5 people cheering for Liquid winning this game, you guys are delusional. Get it under control.
I mean, we've seen some
Please
crazy
drink
stuff.
responsibly.
Yeah, we need to cut you off, I think, at that point. It's only 1 p.m., for God's sake. Good Lord.
It is possible. It is very difficult, but
yeah, 1%.
Gaben believes.
We've seen 100% wins lose.
We have.
So. This is difficult, though. That's to say the least. Yeah, I think you're right. The only question is, do they wait for Roche? It's still 3 minutes away from the very earliest of spawns, so they can constrict the map and just continue to control everything. And of course, write some notes and wait for those tier 5 items in 17 minutes. We're definitely getting there. This isn't a PA game, though.
Yeah.
I feel like in the last patch, the PA was the ultimate mega creep defender.
Yeah.
And the ultimate way to suicide on the Tormentor as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, Revenant's brooch was changed. Everybody was really unhappy about that and would have loved to keep the old one.
I mean, it was fun to see PA at least, right?
It was stupid.
It was very dumb.
It was flat out just stupid.
And now that item doesn't exist again.
It's just a really difficult item to balance, I think, like design-wise, because either you make it, like, who's this item good for if it isn't broken, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's in an odd place.
Yeah, you just make it Harkin's Blade and you don't have to worry about that anymore. The Lenas of the world will love you for it. K1 working on a butterfly now, it seems, as Mickey has sold the treads, and yeah.
On the way.
Close to go time. He's going to lock it just in case somebody's hovering on the outskirts of the map.
Who was it that had his Rapier sniped on a courier in a game we cast?
Yeah, it was somebody. I agree.
Yeah, we had that earlier.
It was
Should
fast.
have probably taken notes and not assembled it on the courier that game.
Yeah.
But
all right, so Divine Rapier, which works a little bit differently than before Cinderin, but
yep.
Luna going to be using the right-click variation, of course, for those Lucent Beams that connect with Conda.
Yep.
It's going to hurt. But is it going to hurt enough to extend this game? I mean, they do have techies with those mines, and with enough time, you can definitely fill your base up.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, never mind. Is it Mongo boots for him? No, he's not buying them yet, so Insania is saving buyback. Yeah, good question. Now at least Liquid have the damage problem solved to an extent, as long as Mickey gets to play the fight. So it's going to be all about frontlining for him, giving him
K1 pops the BKB.
That's
Focusing
quite
on
early
Nisha
again.
For now, Gleipnir onto a couple of heroes. Analog on the vicinity as well. Nice fissure. Mickey has basically nowhere to go but the south. As Analog continuing to pursue with the Rolling Thunder, but not really finding anything. My God, he's taking so much damage. Will he be able to even get out? Eventually does, but now they know that Rapier is on the Luna.
He took half his health in damage, rolling past Luna with glaives active. You want to see a replay of that. That was 1,700 damage from the shard. Just passing by.
It hurts.
My goodness.
Okay.
K1 needs to be careful to not make the same mistake he did earlier, though. These like really early BKB pops are definitely costing. Look at this.
Rolling Thunder. And yeah.
Oh my God.
That's a lot.
Woo. Rapier's an item. Always fun. Halberd now for Nisha.
Okay.
Interesting choice. This will be a Lincoln Breaker for him, so he can access a more reliable Dragon Tail. Plus, I mean, he already had the Orchid for it.
Yeah,
but
I feel like the Orchid has been exclusively used as the Lincoln Breaker because it hasn't done much else.
So maybe that's the logic here is obviously you get a tankability item here, you can disarm the Weaver at some point in the fight, but also you have another way of accessing the fight where you can retain your Orchid. So you can blink Halberd, stun the Weaver, and then you can Orchid, say, a Shaker that you see coming in, or perhaps a Darkseer after Greaves. Still not the easiest Orchid game, in my opinion, but maybe that's the rationale. Roche in a minute 40. Liquid trying their best to get out on the map a little bit. Of course, this is more and more time for Boxy to build a nice, comfy home. But only level 2 in the proximity mines means he will have fewer of them to place.
Oh, you're
14-second cooldown.
Yeah, I didn't realize still only level 17.
Yeah, both supports on Liquid actually not cracking level 3 ults yet in a 47-minute game.
Where are those wisdom runes at, man?
Yeah.
Goodness. Yeah, those level 3 ults should help quite a bit. Does it upgrade your current mines, do you know?
I don't think so. But it's a good question. I know it didn't used to with the old ones. The old, good old... the
green remotes?
Remote mines.
Oh, even an Abyssal Blade being purchased by Analog, so he's fully decked out. Could upgrade his Blink now.
I wonder if Heroic are going to itemize armor at this point, right? Like, it's pretty clear Luna is a big problem, or the only problem. Are you going to get an AC? Are you going to get a Vlad's? You don't have the obvious heroes for it. Darkseer can carry either of those items. The Enchantress could go for that instead of the MKB that he's eyeing up right now. I would actually like to see KJ buy AC on Nench. I think it's the best item he can buy now. But doesn't seem to be the plan. We'll just triple down on... Does he really need the True Strike? Here's the question. I don't even...
Yeah.
I don't even really think so. Luna doesn't have evasion. You're playing into Dragon Knight Halberd. You're playing as a Brew. I mean, it's kind of nice, but... not necessarily an ideal pickup.
I feel like this might be a hard high ground for Heroic to take, despite this lead.
I think it's
getting that feeling.
It's flat out just a matter of can you get a vac wall on Luna. I think if you get that, you force make it to BKB and run away, and the follow-up fight for Liquid gets really difficult. So, and of course bonus points if you also get a punch on him, right?
Yeah.
Just getting the Luna in a compromised position should be the name of the game here. Aegis on Divine Llama, so he will easily have the opportunity to do it at least.
Yep, Aegis Cheese, Ags again, and this time it'll go to the Enchantress, I believe. Yeah.
Yep. Some little friends now available.
Okay. Used to be a meme, now it's reasonable.
Yep.
So
super high range root, 1200 cast range.
Are you surprised that
actually,
it wasn't on Schofield instead?
Okay, it's not 1200 cast.
I think the Earthshaker Ags would have been... It's definitely more standard to get in a scenario like this if there were an Earthshaker ever being played in any other game.
I guess we could have also argued for it on Weaver, technically. Like if... But how often would he not need the ult for himself, right?
Yeah. I mean, using it on somebody else could actually get you killed.
Yeah.
And then having to click it twice on yourself is very annoying as well. As K1 going to be spotted. And Fissure's there into the normal punch, and Boxy tries to get to the high ground.
Oh, he might
actually will be able to just barely get up in time. And now Minesweeper is upon us. The new age Minesweeper.
They did use the pipe and mech for this. So 2 big abilities for Insania on cooldown. If this fight is to break out, a lot of the tankiness that Liquid have unavailable for another half a minute.
Now Divine Llama wanted to go for the initiation, but is thinking better of it now. We'll be able to get to the other side, but the vac wall onto Mickey. That's the only one that matters. He pops. Okay. Looks like he's going to back away for the time being. Was not baited at all as Analog coming with the Rolling Thunder, taking massive damage from that Lucent Beam. Beautiful fissure again from Schofield, keeping the Luna at bay. Analog gets to the other side, should be fine. K1 gets brought to half HP via one Lucent Beam again. 33, the Primal Split is dead. Only has one left as the Eclipse finally coming through. Divine Llama getting saved via the creeps, but he's stuck in the corner. Aegis is down. McKay being pushed to the other side. The tier 4s are taking damage now. Another vacuum into the Echo Slam onto 2. Mickey gets the Satanic though. He's blowing them up. And now K1 looks to be next on the list. And the Blast Off is there as well. 2 dead for Heroic. And now they are on the retreat. Nisha TP, he's fine. So they lose 2. This is going to be a hard high ground. I said that before, Cinderin.
Am I the delusional one?
What?
I said it. The fans saying Liquid would win this game. Delusional. Well,
Cinderin's delusional. I agree.
Okay. That is not a good chant. It doesn't sound right.
It's beautiful.
All right. Well, they hold on.
Boy. And now there's a refresher for Mickey. So the double BKB, double Eclipse.
And only one buyback had to be expended, which was Insania. Now, Mickey immediately gonna pop it.
Oh, really?
I don't necessarily know that he did.
Okay, well, they want gold.
They want to force buybacks. I mean, you're against Mega, so you still need to get more than just holding your base. Inevitably, if you do nothing else than stay in your base and just keep defending, you're not really forcing an advantage at some point. So here they're looking to get buybacks out of the side of Heroic.
Know? They don't know, but
they lack the critical information here.
Yes.
Wall is ready. Is this
another Divine? Normal punches in with the wall into the vacuum. There's 2 illusions now to work with. Mickey pops the Satanic, and he's going to be A-OK. Analog rolling, thundering away. Gets spotted by 33. In fact, TPing with the fortification as well, just to try to catch this Pangolier. He high-fives back into the fountain. Delaying.
That is a very successful defense. Heroic 3v5, lose no heroes.
Ooh, they do find it though.
And basically take no structural damage.
All right, well.
Refresher on Brew.
Yeah, well.
Another one for Liquid.
So we briefly mentioned, but Nisha has Divine as well. So he does damage finally, and he's gonna try to apply some of it to this Pangolier vacuum. We'll keep them at bay. KJ now, he's doing a lot of single target damage with that Impetus. But Divine Llama getting in really deep, gets off the normal punch onto Nisha when he pops the BKB. The Primal Split is there as well. Rolling Thunder's trying to keep the Luna at bay, but K1 is the one taking massive damage and now has to retreat. Analog, the Rolling Thunder is down again.
The Radiant base is in trouble.
Yeah, it is taking damage. The Ancient is exposed.
It's in big trouble.
It's literally just going to die, but Boxy coming at the last moment as the techies as the fight continues to ensue as Mickey very low on HP. They're going to force staff, double force staff K1, but the Satanic again to keep Mickey alive.
Okay.
They are really kiting this entirety of Liquid right now. Fissure into the Impetus, Mickey getting really low. The vacuum is there, and down goes Luna. Divine Rapier on the deck, and Nisha stuck in position, and the rest of Heroic just destroy him. So both Rapiers on the deck, only 2 alive for Liquid, and that should surely do it, as this will be extended to a game number 3. Divine, that is not fast motion, by the way.
That is the fastest clap I've ever seen in my life. Oh
he's
my goodness.
Really hyped as GG's come out. We're going to a game number 3.
64,000 gold advantage. We'll do it.